Ah, yes, that was a good lunch. Time to get back to work. Hello, everybody, this is Bench85. Welcome back to another episode of Farming Simulator 17, Season 3, Episode 3. So I guess it would be another season. No, another episode. What am I thinking? I can't speak. Must be this cloudy weather. Hoping the clouds will break soon. I'd like to go out and make some hay today, but I think before that, we're gonna have to get some spraying done. And actually, I should double check and make sure that I can actually do this. Actually, I should be able to. It shouldn't be a problem. Because the first fertilization set was from when I planted. So it should have been fertilized and then planted. And it should be reset basically for a second set here. But we are gonna head off to our first field here. And I've been thinking a lot about this. I think we're gonna have to dig into our loan a little bit here and just take the time to build up a little bit in animals and just try to get some income going. So I think we're gonna try to get some cows going. And really, for $200 per cow extra, I feel like it's worthwhile to just not get a trailer for them yet. Oh, this one's definitely smaller, that's for sure. Should be able to, oh, just go. Right? I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, I am back. Sorry about that, I apologize. I had to tend to my little one. She was asleep and then she wasn't asleep anymore, but should be good to go now. Apparently I need to have a stage of crop growth or something for it to count, because it is not counting, so we're not going to be spraying it all today. That was the original plan for at least the beginning of this episode, so I guess our plan is to get, well, we're going to have some hay to cut, and oh, it looks like the sun is coming out. Perfect. I'm actually going to park this back in the shop for now. There, seems like a good parking spot. And well, now that the sun's coming out, I think it's time for us to go out and cut some hay. And we're gonna end up baling up some hay. Now my hope is, if you notice the forecast, yeah, we can go this way. It is supposed to rain tomorrow, but my hope is that we can get it raked up and maybe baled tomorrow before the rain comes in. Because, you know, it's hard to say exactly when the rain's going to come in. But we're going to go cut field 31. And we've used this disc bind before. We found out it works out much better if you basically define where the outsides are first and then let the computer go at it, basically. That seemed to work out the best. So I think I'm going to put it, yeah, I guess we'll leave it swung out like this just for now, right? Yeah, why not? So we'll get her spooled up, we'll drop her down, and it looks like it's going to cut for us, which is what we want. Look at that, perfect. We probably shouldn't be up on that hill, should we? And we probably shouldn't go too close. Yep, see, it won't let me actually cut that. Because it's not my field. So we gotta kind of find this line right here. Here we go. Basically cut this down. Trying to see what's over in that area. I like how, because this is kind of a lower horsepower tractor, probably the bare minimum of what's able to run this, you can hear it actually bogging down. But it should be enough to at least get us going, get some cows, at least get some milk going. Okay, so I want to fix this line right here. There we go. Right down in there is where it should be. Just like that. And now, we're going to reset everything. Just kind of want to do that. I want to turn it around. Because if we're going to do this the right way, the proper way, we should have to turn around basically. And then we start going around the opposite way. Like so. And we'll just get everything cut. This is actually something that I kind of enjoy doing. I got no problem doing this myself and not hiring anybody for it. It is a smaller mower, but you know, it's what I chose to start with, just because it has a much more, I guess, down-home feel, at least for me. Because it's basically what we used on the farm. Some of the other stuff is not stuff we use, but I can't necessarily find the mods to make it work out for what, or for how I want it to be. But you know, you can't have everything exactly how you want it, but we can at least get it somewhat, you know, how it is, and yeah, we'll just talk about things and kind of work things out and discuss as we go. But we'll just keep going around here and get this all cut. And I don't want to buy any animals until we actually have the feed, as well as the water to feed them. Simply because with the seasons mod, if you don't feed or have water for your animals, they will die. You have to continue to feed them and water them. Or you'll start to lose population pretty quick. And basically I just like to get some animals, see how many we can get before spring comes around, because next spring, summer will be when they actually give birth. That's how it works with the seasons mod. So I'm just going to keep going around in circles, I guess. And as far as I know, I've discuss the things we want to talk about here, and I'm just going in circles. And well, you guys don't necessarily have to keep listening to me talk while I'm going in circles. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can get this baled before the rain. So I'm going to get this cut, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning with the hopes of getting this turned into hay and raking it and all that kind of stuff, and see how the timeline works out for us. So I will be right back, guys. I was gonna say good morning, everybody, but there's no hay left. It's gone. Or wait, is it? There's some little bits and pieces. It didn't rain. Maybe because I changed seasons over? Well, I feel like that was a failed attempt at that. I was gonna come down and tether it. Well, I guess I can't do what I was originally planning. And my idea is that we cut it and then the next day bale it, but maybe I can't do that. Oh, I'm not gonna cut it anymore today. I want to try that one more time. Maybe it's just because it was a growth stage or something like that, a changeover. I don't know, but I don't know. I may have to look that up. But regardless, it looks like the crops have grown one stage, so I feel like it is worthwhile for us to go and spray the fields, which is what we originally planned on doing. So I am just going to leave you sit right here. I'm going to grab you. And you'll notice my money actually went up a little bit. That's because I did some work for some of the local farmers, just trying to lower the cost of the fields. And I was originally thinking to myself, oh, these grass fields, I can't actually do any I can't do any work for the farmers because of it being grass, and therefore I cannot actually lower the price of it. But then I remembered that most of the farmers own multiple fields, so I just have to find a field that yeah, there we go. Oop. I just have to find a field that was already, or that is in their name, that is not a grass field. So I want to be careful of this because I'm pretty sure I have the mod on here that allows me to trample crops. So let's see. Or maybe it's not working because it's the seasons mod, because it doesn't seem to be making tracks. I don't know, but I'm just gonna spray the fields here, and I didn't actually do it the way I wanted it to, and I'm not gonna spray them a second time, so we're just gonna stick with 2 modes of fertilization here instead of 3, and we'll just have to deal with that for the first year here. I'm disappointed with that hay. I don't understand what happened. But I guess what I may do is I may quick look it up and just see if there's something, you know, maybe you can't do that. Maybe it doesn't work that way. But there we go. It's pretty kind of crooked there. Maybe you have to do it all in one day, which seems odd to me. But you know, it's not my mod. I'll have to see how it all works out. Maybe I've got something installed that is not working properly. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into it though. So I guess we're just gonna have to spray fields here, and well, I got just this one, and then I got the second one to do, and it doesn't look like it's that well, it looks sparse, doesn't it? I'm just kind of backtracking. I don't know if the row things actually work out that way or not, but I'm going to try to travel in the same path here a little bit. I do like the fact that you have to do this if you're going to spray, that you have to wait till the actual first stage of growth, because, well, if you are doing something like that kind of mod, if it would work, you're going to trample some of your crops. So it's going to be that trade-off. Is it worth getting the whole field up to a certain percentage? Or are you better off just staying off of it? But I don't know. I'm going to have to do some figuring here. Ooh, looks like I can get it all in one pass here. That'll be nice. Or at least darn close to it. Actually, now that I think about it, well, these shouldn't qualify though, because I know that there is the option to have it where small, thin-wheeled tractors do not get included in that. So you have the ability to get basically row crop special tractors that will not trample crops, which depends on what you're using. You know, if you got corn, which is actually planted in rows, then it's not going to show up. You know, it's going to go in between. Ooh. I was hoping to sneak through here. There we go. So, I don't know. I'll do some digging, and I'm going to spray that other field. And the rain is incoming. I went the wrong way, didn't I? Yes, I went the wrong way out of the field. There we go. Go this way. But yeah, I'll do some digging, and maybe after it rains or something, if it rains early enough in the day here that I can cut maybe afterwards. Although I don't like doing work when it still says that the crops are wet, because to me that means the ground's wet too. So I just usually wait. But we'll see what happens here, and I'll let you guys know. Okay, so I looked into it, and to the best of my knowledge, the way it works, hay and straw, when left on the ground, will decay over time quicker than if it was baled up. Like, let's say grass. If you were to just bale up grass, grass bales become or rot in like 2 days. So you cannot bale up grass and expect it to stay viable. So to the best of my knowledge, at least what I can figure out, is basically you don't want to leave it overnight. You don't want it to let it sit. So to make this work, at least for the time scale that I wanted to try to make it geared towards realistic or real life, I can cut. Oh, I missed a spot there. There we go. To make it realistic, my restrictions are that I can cut hay or grass or whatever you want to call it before or at 7 a.m. I can start cutting. Just the way I got this figured out. Once it hits noon, I can switch over to tethering and raking, like so. And when it hits 5 p.m., which would be, at least in game time, that would be 1700, is when I can start baling. So the idea is that it stretches it out across, well, pretty much, you know, an entire day, which means that weather is going to play a factor. You can't do it on a rainy day of any sort. So like Monday, tomorrow, looks pretty good weather-wise. However, the next 4 days after that, not so great for doing hay. So that's the way I have it figured out now. I think it balances out pretty good with what I wanted to do. Oop, I'm gonna mess that up. Yeah, you can't really back this up decently. just does not act normal because it is a 3-point hitch. Basically, I probably should have picked it up. So yeah, we're out tethering like so. After this, we're going to swap out for the rake. So yeah, I should do this. Then it backs up really well. It looked like it was too wide, but apparently it's going to work out. But yeah, we'll grab the rake it up, and then we'll wait till 5 o'clock. And, oop, gotta go further over this way. So apparently it's picking up some of the bigger rows there. But yeah, 5 o'clock we'll start baling. And then we're gonna have to pick stuff up, which I still don't have the ability to do. So we're probably gonna have to run to the shop quick and get something to do that with before the day is through. Oh, and I was gonna say, well, I'll meet you back here when we start baling, but might as well just keep you with me because we've got a new piece of equipment to play around with. Because we have the merger, which is something I have not driven yet. It's something in the new Coon pack, DLC pack, which I purchased. Actually, if you don't follow Farming Simulator 17, they're going to be releasing another DLC, which is called the Platinum Edition, I guess, and it's going to introduce a new map, which is supposed to be in South America. It's going to introduce a new crop, which is sugar cane, and it's going to have a bunch of different equipment. Bunch of newer equipment. So, kind of curious as to how that all works out, how that looks. I've been kind of waiting for it to go on sale, maybe pick it up. It hasn't been released yet, so I think it's like early access type, or not early access, but like pre-order type deal, if you can call it DLC like pre-order. I don't know, I think that's kind of silly. That explains why my camera's not moving right. I had my mouse in the wrong setting. There we go. Drop that guy. Let's grab the merger here. This is something I was been excited to try out. Because this is something cool and new and exciting. At least for Farming Simulator. It works like a regular merger, a rake, whatever you want to call it, but instead of a bunch of spinning discs, this guy will instead pick all of it up, run it across the belt, and spit it out on the other side. Or in the middle. I think this one can do middle. Otherwise I think it's left and right, I want to say. So I think you could basically do it all into one giant row if you wanted to, I think. I have to see here when it finishes unfolding how this is laid out here. So you can do either work in the middle, left, or right. Oh, I see, it just takes out the middle section. Yeah, let's start out with working on the right here. And what it should do is basically pick it up and yep, send it all to the right there. So it works beautifully. Although, oh, I suppose if I'm running too close to the edge, it's not putting it down properly, maybe? I don't know, I'm trying to make basically a row right on the edge there. not caring about the other parts of where I am. Just basically trying to pick it all up here. So yeah, what I was trying to get at is you could basically make it where you could just continually make or put the entire field into one row. Don't like how that worked out. There we go. So if I were to do it to the middle instead of the outside like this, I could then come back around another time and basically pick up everything that I had just merged and just continue to, you know, keep combining it. I do like how that works though. So now basically I can just go along here and try to, you know, just pick up where I left off and make a row. Keep making rows. So yeah, this should work out really well. Yeah, I like this a lot. The nice part is because it stops instantly, you know, it's basically picking stuff up instantly and dropping it off for the most part. I should be able to, if I want to just kind of stop it here, I'll go to this point, pick it up, and it shouldn't disturb any part of the row, hopefully. Yep, looks good. I can just drive in, drop it down, and start making another row. Yeah, that works really well. I like that a lot. I have a feeling we're going to be using this more than any of the rakes that I have, because this is nifty. So, they actually do, I mean, they make some really big ones of these, real life. Much bigger than this. They work really well for merging, for doing stuff like this, but like in real life, we never used a tedder, which was the other thing that I used just before using this guy. When we cut it with the Discobine, we would lay it really flat and let it sit for a few days, basically drying it out completely on top and trying to dry it through to the bottom as much as possible. When it wasn't going to dry anymore, or at least not decently well anymore, and it was a good day for baling, we would then come through and rake it. So we'd use a rotary style. We only had a single rotor type because we really didn't need anything bigger than that, because we weren't merging, we were actually raking hay for drying. So basically it would kind of ball it up a little bit, but also tip it over, and that would allow the other side to dry. Whereas these guys don't really do that. They basically just are used for merging. They're very commonly used around us, or by us, for when they're chopping the forage for the cows. So you'd run a chopper through it after making all these rows together, because, well, the big choppers and stuff, you can run a lot of material through them. But, yeah, it's what, 1 o'clock, 1:05 in the afternoon, so we're going to let that all dry. 5 o'clock rolls around, we're going to bale and take care of the bales. But we've been having ourselves a nice long chat, hanging out together, so I think I'm going to call it an episode here. And next time we will, well, do what I just said, you know, bale up some hay and find a way to move them around and store them. Because if it rains on them while they're outside, they will rot and deteriorate. So you either need to wrap them, or you need to store them in a covered building of some sort. And I think that building right across from us here is a perfect candidate for keeping bales in. Actually, no. You know what? we should probably take them up to the building where the cows are if we are going to be doing cows. I think that would be a better idea. So, oh. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see where I'm backing up to. There we go. So, I think that's going to be our best bet. So, I'm going to take this baler over to the shop here. Make sure everything is ready to go for another season of baling here, since this is our first opportunity for it. And, oop, don't want to leave it running. And I will see you guys next time. So thank you all for watching, and as always, take it easy.